Okay, now let's see what kind of leftovers Michelle has in the fridge.
Donald, we shouldn't be down here. Not only do I get in a lot of trouble when I'm caught up after my bedtime, but you've already had 2 entire dinners tonight. I'm becoming genuinely concerned about how much you eat. You should see someone.
See someone like a chef? That'd be a good idea. Maybe they can give me something better than these Brussels sprouts and mashed sweet potatoes. What's with your husband and health food? Your kind usually goes the fried and salty route.
No, like a psychiatrist to find what hole you're filling in your life. Todd hung up because he had to get up early for class tomorrow, and you immediately suggested we raid the fridge instead of continuing Joe's story.
Honestly, Barack, my voice could use the rest. It's starting to become a bit hoarse.
Oh, wow, Joe. Yeah, that's sounding weird.
I'm surprised your voice is still normal, Donald. You spent a full 10 minutes yelling at the Domino's delivery guy because he didn't bring any dipping sauces.
Well, the night's still young, and I may have to wake up Michelle to yell at her about the sorry state of her food stocks.
Donald, you don't want to do that. Michelle is, let's just say that she looks different without any makeup on.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, it's probably similar to when RuPaul's out of drag.
I'd call you racist or sexist or something, but for once the comparison is fair.
Now we turn to a little tech news with Elon Musk, who earlier tonight made an important announcement concerning the social media site X.
Oh shit, Joe. I think you set on the remote for our kitchen TV. Quick, turn it off before Michelle hears it.
No, keep it on. This sounds interesting. Also, why do you still have a CRT?
I use it to play retro games sometimes, like Silent Hill. But I have to keep it in the kitchen because Michelle prefers I play horror games in a common room in case I get scared.
Jesus, you're like a fucking toddler.
When I first took the helm of X, I knew I couldn't stay in charge for long. I had to find a person who could take on what is perhaps the greatest challenge in the history of social media. But who could possibly live up to such a feat? Luckily, I think I have found a man. Please say hello to the new CEO of X, Haresh.
Thank you for that kind introduction, friend Elon. I am happy that you have asked me to be the new CEO. It is the first time I have had such an important job. That is if you don't count the time I was an executive vice president for Apple.
You were right not to count that, Haresh. So, let's get down and dirty and talk about what people want to know. What changes do you plan on bringing to X?
I'm glad you asked, friend Elon. My first decision as CEO is to make it so everyone is following everyone else. That way it is like we are all friends.
Very interesting, but don't you think that will crowd the For You page?
What else could you possibly want on your For You page other than posts by all your friends?
I can't argue with you there, Haresh. Now, before we started recording, you made mention of requiring women to supply feet pics in addition to a profile picture. Can you speak more about that?
Barack, what are you doing? I've been suggesting women be required to have feet pics on their profiles for years. I need to hear if it's going to happen or not.
Sorry, Donald, but we should probably get back upstairs. We can watch the clips of the interview on YouTube later or something.
Barack, I'm still perusing your fridge. There's an old jar of pickles that are calling my name. And before you say anything, pickles don't have any calories, so you can't fat shame me over eating them.
They may not have any calories, but they have a fuck ton of salt. When you count the Domino's, the McDonald's I'm sure you had for lunch, and the 5 minutes you spent just shaking the salt shaker into your palm before licking it off during dinner, you're probably well over 10,000 milligrams today. Keep it up, and you'll have a heart attack.
For your information, I had Chick-fil-A for lunch. All I've had at McDonald's today was a large fries on the way here.
Same thing. Now close the fridge and let's go back up to my game room.
Actually, Barack, my voice isn't the only thing feeling sore. My body is pretty weak from remembering climbing up the side of the Titanic. How about I just continue telling the story down here?
Works for me, Joe. Pickles come to Papa.
Fine. Just try and keep it down.
All right, well, as always, let me do a recap of what has happened so far. So the year was 1912, and I found myself in Queenstown.
You know what, Joe? I think we're good on this part.
What? But what about the people who this is their first time hearing the story?
What people, Joe? It's just me and Donald, and we've been here the whole time.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's right. It just feels a little odd not doing it. What if there's a mouse or a termite in the wall who just stumbled by? He'd end up confused.
Joe, what the fuck are you talking about?
Barack, you often forget that I'm being slowly poisoned to death by the Earth's atmosphere. My mind isn't always there.
Okay, Joe. If it really means so much to you, I'll run down the story so far. You were on the run for probably doing something troubling to a child. Naturally, a cop who seems like he's Rob's great-grandfather or something was after you. Somehow, you managed to get a ticket aboard the Titanic, with a rich guy who was probably Todd's ancestor. In another inexplicable turn of fate, Barack's and my grandfather's were there too. You know what, Barack? This story is pretty wild. Maybe it is made up.
Right? I'm glad you're finally seeing it.
Shut up, every word of this story is the honest truth.
Okay, what else happened? Oh yeah, there's like a maid who Barack's grandpa wants to bed. Then there's this old guy who seems really important.
Old guy? You're talking about the captain of the Titanic, aren't you? Yes, he's important.
Shut up, Barack. I'm back to believing Joe because of that little sarcastic remark. Oh, I almost forgot. You got cornered in your cabin by the cop, but you made a daring escape out the window. And that was where we left off.
I've heard tell from some of the other passengers that we've been getting iceberg warnings. Should I be concerned, Mr. Andrews?
Not at all. The northern route is always full of icebergs, but ships pass through it every day without incident.
That's a relief to hear. Also, knowing the Titanic has a double hull puts me at ease.
Oh yes, well, of course.
You seem a little off there, Mr. Andrews. Something wrong?
Nothing that should concern you. You're right about the double hull. It's just not as double, if you will, as I initially wanted.
Mr. Andrews, I'm just a dumb hick. So if you're expecting me to catch your meaning, you're gonna have to spell it out.
Well, you see, Mrs. Brown, and don't tell the other passengers this, but the double hull only extends on the bottom of the ship. It protects Titanic from the seabed, whereas the portions above the waterline are not quite as sturdy.
Wait, doesn't that mean...
Out of the way, out of the way. I need to get through now. Come on, people, didn't you hear me? This is life and death.
If I'm not mistaken, that's Mr. Todford's valet. I haven't seen him since he ran off at dinner a few nights ago. I wonder where he's been all this time.
Fuck. I barely managed to get out of there. Whoever this asshole is, he really doesn't want to give up. And oh God, I'm in the Turkish bath. I swore I'd never return after what happened. Come on, Joe, you need to calm down. You're far too agitated. You couldn't possibly go back out there like this. You'd make too much of a scene. I guess I have to hang out here and resist the urge to jerk it.
All right, come on you. We have no time to waste.
But pretty lady, you still haven't told me why you're helping me escape.
Because I'm not exactly in the habit of letting people get beaten mercilessly.
Beaten mercilessly? I sure wouldn't like that. But if it was to defend the world from the tyranny of the Germans, I'd do it.
What the bloody hell are you talking about? Now keep running down this corridor, then sneak below. It's best to not return to first class. Robert will be looking for you there.
What about you? You're not coming?
No, I have to get back to Robert, I suppose. He does have our room key after all.
Oh, okay. But when can I see you again?
Are you daft? You can never see me again. We need to get as far away from each other as possible. If we don't, he'll certainly find you.
I don't care if he finds me. I want to see you again. Wherever. Whenever.
Oh, fuck me. What's with you all?
I have been entranced by your beauty. That's what's with me.
Gosh, you're a moron. Fine, what's the way to deal with this? What about... Have you ever heard of fate?
Father always said that fate isn't real. It's just something made up by stupid poor people.
Well, I say it is. You believe me?
Always.
Okay, good. So if we're fated to be together, then we don't need to make a plan to see each other. It will just happen. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't really.
Well, keep repeating it until it does. I think I hear Robert coming. You have to run.
Okay.
Oh, Robert, it's you.
Lila, what the fuck are you doing here? And where is that imbecile millionaire?
Well, he escaped. I chased after him, but he was too fast, so I lost him.
Fuck, Lila. First, Joe Biden gets away, then you let his accomplice give you the slip? I asked you to do one thing, and you couldn't even fucking listen.
Robert, how dare you? All I've done this whole trip was be at your beck and call and get you out of sticky situations. You'd have been locked up in the brig that first night if it wasn't for me.
Like I couldn't break out of some boat prison?
That's not the point. You're absolutely the most selfish, unappreciative, egotistical man I've ever met. I don't really know what he did, but I wager that this Joe Biden is a much nicer guy than you are.
Niceness doesn't fill hell with souls. A ruthless pursuit of justice does.
And if you keep this up, when your ticket is punched, you'll end up right down there with him.
Maybe so, but I've always preferred a warm climate.
Geez, you just can't spend 2 seconds looking at yourself in the mirror, can you?
What the fuck are you talking about, Lila?
I'm talking about how I think I'm done with you, Robert. You'll need to go after this Joe Biden yourself from now on.
Is that how it is? Well, fine. My only use for you was identifying him, and I've seen him myself, so you're worthless to me now.
Robert, one day you're going to look back on all the people you stomped all over and regret it.
Highly unlikely.
Whatever, I don't care anymore. Just give me the key to our room. You can sleep in the sea for all I care.
Fine, take it. I won't be needing it because before the night is through, I'll either have captured Joe Biden and be gifted the finest room aboard, or I'll be dead.
Be careful what you wish for, Robert, for it might just come true.
Hey, baby, you ready to take this to the boudoir? That's perfect, Onyango. No way will she be able to resist you like this.
Jesus, Onyango, what are you wearing?
It's a tuxedo, but I left the bow tie open to make me look relaxed and casual.
That's stupid. It just makes you look like you can't tie a bow tie.
Oh, that's not it. I can totally tie a bow tie. I've done it 1,000,000 times. Trust me.
Okay. Do it now then.
Right now, that's going to be a problem. You see, I just got my hands caught in some giant gears. All the bones in them are completely shattered.
I can clearly see that your hands are fine.
Would you look at that? I guess they miraculously healed. That's not a problem. I can easily break them again. Where did my wrench go?
Okay, Onyango, chill out. You don't have to mutilate yourself to impress me. Come here. Just hold still for a second, and there we go.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Trump.
No worries. I learned a lot of useless crap like that in Bavaria.
Huh? We've never really talked about that. What was life like over there? Why did you leave?
It's boring. You wouldn't care.
No, tell me. I want to know.
Well, if you're sure, but it's nothing to write home about. I was one of like a bunch of children, 6, I think. I never really kept track. Most of them ended up working in the fields, even though they weren't black. I, on the other hand, was too weak for that most of the time. So my mother sent me to work for a barber. I spent nearly 3 whole years working every single day for that asshole. Then when I was about your age, I learned if I stayed any longer, I'd have to enter the military, so I left for America.
You had to work every day for 3 years?
Yeah, it was awful, but I learned a lot of stupid stuff, like how to tie a bow tie, so maybe it was worth it.
Hey, Trump, I know our relationship to this point has been pretty much quid pro quo, but I'm really starting to like you. I hope we keep in touch after this.
I don't know. We'll see, I guess. Don't worry about that now, though. Just worry about how you're going to seal the deal with that woman tonight.
Oh, you know it. Once I get the chance to lay on that Obama charm, she won't be able to say no.
Hey, Joe, can you hold up for a second?
What's up, buddy?
Actually, while we're stopped, Donald, can you close the fucking refrigerator?
Well, Barack, what's with the hostility?
The fridge has been open for the last 10 minutes. Not only are you probably going to cause my next electric bill to be crazy, but it's freezing in here.
Barack, I'm still eating pickles. It's not like I have it open for no reason.
Then why don't you just take out the jar and put it on the counter?
Because I don't want the pickle juice to get warm, thereby affecting the crispness of the pickles.
Brock, I'm with Donald on this one. Speaking of, can I have one of those pickles? I think the saltiness might help my sore throat.
Sure thing, pal.
Thanks, so why did you stop me?
Unbelievable.
Oh, right, I almost forgot. I'm just a little confused about why Barack's grandfather is into this specific woman.
Well, she was quite handsome if I remember correctly.
I'm sure, but that's why I'm confused. I'd assume that Barack's grandfather would have shared his affinity for the more testosterone-heavy females.
Seriously, Donald? Joe, don't even acknowledge this. Just go back to your story.
It's a fair question.
No, it's not. Go back to your story.
Keep the boat steady, Hitchens.
Aye, Officer Murdoch.
Ah, Mr. Bride, what can I do for you?
Evening, First Officer Murdoch. I have a report of ice that just came in from the Californian.
Thank you, Mr. Bride. Let me see here. Latitude, 42 degrees, 3 minutes north. Longitude, 49 degrees, 9 minutes west. 3 large bergs, 5 miles to the southward of us. Regards, Lord. Very good. We'll have the men up in the crow's nest. Keep a sharp eye.
Sir, are you not concerned about the number of iceberg warnings we've received? This was our 4th today alone.
Oh, we'll be fine. Don't you worry.
Wouldn't it at least be prudent to tell the captain to slow down? We're going nearly top speed.
Haha. If you wish to interrupt the captain's dinner with the Wideners, be my guest.
Sir, I'm being serious.
How old are you, Mr. Bride?
I turned 22 in January.
I thought so. And you've been at sea for how long?
A little over 6 months, sir.
6 months? You're still getting your sea legs, my boy. No wonder you're so troubled. But all this is quite customary. Trust me.
The captain said a similar thing to me earlier.
And you'd be wise to listen. Now, best you return to the radio room.
Yes, Officer Murdoch. Officer Murdoch, I forgot to mention one other thing.
Oh, what would that be?
As I was heading here, I passed the Turkish bath, and I regret to say there were unusual noises coming from in there once again.
Really? You should have said that right away. This might be our chance to catch the man who jerked off in there.
Oh God. Oh yeah. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. What is wrong with you, Joe? You promised yourself that you wouldn't do this anymore.
Okay, Joe, come on.
You have a question, Barack?
It's not really a question, it's more a comment.
Lay it on me.
When we were on the phone with Todd, you insisted that you didn't jerk off in the Turkish bath. But you literally just told us that you did.
No, I didn't. What makes you think that?
Come on, Sleepy Joe. Your exact words were, back in the Turkish bath, I was doing something shameful out of you that involved vigorously moving my arm near my pelvic region.
So what? That could be a million things.
Name one.
Pass.
Joe, if you admit the truth to us right now, we won't razz you too hard. We promise, don't we, Donald?
Speak for yourself. I always reserve the right to razz.
Guys, I'm telling you that I wasn't jerking off.
Uh-huh. Well, keep going, I guess.
Stop right there. I've caught you red-handed.
Oh no, please let me go. I'm sorry that I jerked off in the Turkish bath 11 times.
Joe, seriously, what the fuck?
Barack, just drop it.
Do my eyes deceive me? Mr. Biden, you were the deviant this whole time?
I mean, you don't have to use harsh words like deviant. Have you been in this place? It casts a hypnotic spell of some sort. What was I supposed to do?
Mr. Biden, I regret doing this, but I'm going to have to arrest you.
Seriously, man, can't you just give me a break?
I'm sorry, but the White Star Line takes jerking off in the Turkish bath very seriously.
Saints alive. There sure are a lot of passageways on this ship. I've been walking for hours and have no idea where I am. Hopefully that means the German spy won't be able to find me, though.
Hey, Fancy Pants. Passengers aren't allowed down here. You've got to leave.
Ugh. It's the German I encountered on deck. He must be in league with the spy. Away, you squarehead.
What are you blabbering on about, buddy?
Sir, I am not very versed in the ways of physical combat, but I will fight you to defend the purity of America. Have at thee.
Dude, what the fuck was that for?
Do you yield, sir? There are more than a few strikes coming your way if you don't surrender.
First of all, that didn't even remotely hurt. Second, I couldn't be more confused about what you're talking about. Just go back on deck.
Alas, that is an impossibility. There is a German spy who is searching for me and my valet.
A German spy searching for you and your valet? Could it be? No, no way. That guy wasn't even German, but maybe. You're Reginald Todford III, right?
That's American millionaire. Reginald Todford III to you.
Yeah, whatever. So I think I know the guy you're talking about, and unfortunately it means my buddy might be in some trouble.
Explain yourself.
Well, you see, earlier today this weird guy and this woman found me and my pal and asked us if we knew where you were. It's a long story, but my buddy really wants to explore the Ivory Coast, if you catch my drift. So I told them where you were in exchange for her having a little rendezvous with my friend.
Egads, I was right. You are in league with the spy.
Only accidentally, but now I'm concerned because my friend just left to meet with the woman. And if she is bad news, he could be in some real danger. I need to go after him, so bye.
Wait, this woman, is she the personification of beauty, and the only person fit to model for the Roman goddess Venus?
I mean, she's not my type, but my buddy seemed to take a liking to her, so maybe.
I can't believe the woman I am fated to be with is about to be defiled. I'm coming along too to stop this.
Good night, Mr. and Mrs. Widener. I hope you find a chef for your new hotel soon.
Old man, I need full command of this ship, and I need it now.
Oh, Mr. Robertson, this sure is the treat. What can I do for Titanic's star of the stage?
First, I need you to round up any and all weaponry you have aboard. Then, I suggest we distribute them to the crew starting with the most physically fit. After that, a full search of the ship must be done, and—
Dear me, Mr. Robertson, I don't want to give acting notes to such a seasoned professional, but if you'll permit an old man a word or two, I think less is more is the name of the game when playing Holmes. He's an intellectual after all.
Shut up, Grandpa. That game is over. I'm no actor, and my name isn't Mr. Robertson. I'm here to catch a criminal, and to do that, I need the power to freely execute passengers until the evildoer surrenders himself.
You see, this is what I'm getting at. It doesn't seem realistic that Sherlock Holmes would execute passengers on an ocean liner. Can I ask who is the playwright for your show?
There is no playwright. This is real life. and there will be real-life consequences if you don't get that fact through your thick skull.
No playwright? This must be a very modern production.
Lila, I can't believe you saddled me with this ridiculous backstory. Okay, Crypt Keeper, I'm going to try and explain this one more time. I am not an actor. My name is not Mr. Robertson. I'm a detective on this ship looking for a nefarious criminal. Earlier today, I cornered him in his cabin, but he made a daring escape, jumping out the window and climbing up the side of the ship. At this very moment, he could be anywhere, and he's likely to be very desperate now that his cover is blown.
Ooh, climbing up the side of a ship is an exciting plot point. I'm assuming it ends an act, does it not?
I hate everyone on this ship so fucking much.
What was that, Mr. Robertson?
Forget it, Methuselah. You're clearly going to be no help. God, what can I do? Maybe a walk in the fresh night air will clear my head.
So, who are you most looking forward to seeing at the opening of Fenway Park?
I love all the Red Sox equally, but if I was forced to pick a favorite, it'd have to be my boy Smokey Joe Wood.
Smokey Joe Wood, but Buck O'Brien is a much better pitcher.
Buck O'Brien is just a spitballer. He doesn't have the kind of skill Smokey Joe has, trust me.
All right, in you go.
Please, First Officer Murdoch, you can't do this to me. I promise I won't do it again unless I literally can't resist the urge, which is highly likely.
I'm sorry, Mr. Biden, but rules are rules. Once we get to New York, you shall be charged with indecent exposure and the defiling of a Turkish bath.
Oh God, what am I going to do? On the upside, there are only Chinese guys in here with me. I was a little worried I'd be sharing a cell with a black guy who finally snapped from years of oppression.
All right, it's almost time for bed, but I ought to warn Titanic about that iceberg we passed first.
Ah, fuck me.
What just happened, Jack?
I was talking to Cape Race, and the Californian decided to hop in and blow out my eardrums.
What were they saying?
I don't know. Who cares?
Golly, I can't believe Titanic just told me to shut up. I guess they don't need to be warned about icebergs after all. Off to bed with me.
Hey, guy, can you stop following me? It's pretty weird.
No, I can't. I have to stop your partner in crime from committing atrocities against my one true love.
Okay, so I don't know the deal with you and this woman, but she seemed a bit crazy when I met her, so she's probably just stringing you along. Also, why would you even want to be with a spy or whatever?
She's not a spy. She promised me. She's just working with a German spy for some reason that she never really answered.
How on earth does a man as dumb as you end up as a millionaire?
It's mostly generational wealth.
Well, that figures. Now go away. I have to save my friend from you. I have to save my friend from you.
My love, our paths have crossed just as fate decided. You were right.
Oh, blasted. Of course I had to run into these two.
Wait, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be in the library with Onyango? Please don't tell me you already killed him and disposed of his body. Oh God, my best friend is dead.
Quit your whimpering. Your best friend is fine. I never even went to the library, and I have no intention of doing so either.
What? So he's fine? Oh, okay. Gee, now it feels a little awkward that I called him my best friend. Don't tell him that.
I wasn't planning on it.
But you still haven't explained why you're not there. What about the deal?
Did you two really expect me to prostitute myself out for a room number?
I mean, I don't really put much thought into the actions of women.
Figures.
God, Onyango's gonna be so crushed. I need to go and cheer him up.
My love, now that we're alone, we should start our wedding plans. Did you want to honeymoon in Paris or Rome? We could always do both, too.
Sorry, Buster, but we're not getting married, so if you'll excuse me...
Wait, is it something I did? How did I sour our once great relationship?
What are you talking about? We've spoken to each other for about 5 minutes total, and most of that was spent running from a maniac.
And in that time, I developed the truest and most passionate feelings I've ever felt.
Boy, you don't spend a lot of time round women, do you?
No. Father said that the only use of a woman is procreation, so he never let me associate with them.
Your father sounds like a real asshole.
But I never believed him, and I've always dreamed of the day I'd meet my one true love, and it's you.
Geez, you're a weird one. Sure, the fact that you're rich is very appealing, but I just couldn't. You're a few too many cards shy of a full deck. Like, what would we even talk about?
Maybe I'm no good with making conversation, but I could recite to you my favorite passages from Shelley and Keats, or paint portraits of you to fill the walls of my mansion.
You can paint?
Yes, it's one of the many things that I learned at boarding school.
Gosh, I mean, I can't believe I'm even saying this. But while you're a weirdo, you're certainly the most polite and interesting man who's ever hit on me. Unfortunately, you're definitely not the smartest.
Well, as Father always said, what I lack in brains, I certainly make up for with ignorance.
Fuck me. All right, do you want to come back to my room?
Oh boy, Onyango, get ready because any second now, a beautiful white woman is going to walk through that door and you're going to get to sleep with her. The dreams of all my ancestors are about to be fulfilled. Trump, what are you doing here? My date is in a few minutes. You have to leave so she doesn't end up thinking this is a three-way deal.
Actually, that's the reason I'm here. You see, I ran into the woman in the hall and she told me she wasn't coming. I'm sorry, pal.
Ha ha, you're just messing with me, aren't you? This must be that famous German sense of humor. Good one, but you really have to go.
Onyango, you and I both know that Germans have absolutely no sense of humor.
I mean, I've heard that before, but that would mean that... Frederick, is she really not coming?
Unfortunately not. I'm so sorry. I know I promised you that I'd find you a woman, but hey, we still have a few days. So tomorrow morning, let's start again fresh. What do you say?
Damn it, I can't believe she stood me up. This is Hadija all over again. Hadija is the name of my ex-girlfriend, by the way.
Yikes, but keep going.
You see, Hadija and I would meet up every night at the non-poisonous well in our village. We did that every day for 2 years. Then one day she didn't show. The next morning I saw her on the arm of Akello, the toughest guy in our village.
That must have stung.
Oh, it gets even worse. When I saw them, I ran right up to Akello and challenged him to a fight to win the heart of Hadija. Naturally, I got my ass handed to me. I just sat there, black and bruised, everyone laughing at me, including Hadija, the girl who told me she loved me time and time again. I couldn't take the embarrassment. I ran off right then and there.
Huh, so that's how you ended up on the Titanic.
Yeah, it's no great story of trying to make one's way in the world. It's just the story of a sad, broken-hearted boy who can't face his past.
Hey, don't say that about yourself, Onyango. What you're doing is awesome. Think of it, you're the only black crewman on all of the Titanic. You can't say that about Akello. That fucking guy is probably back in your village banging two rocks together, but you aren't. You're out here showing the world what Onyango Obama is made of.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Thanks, Trump.
Of course, and whoa, would you look here? It's a conveniently placed grand piano, sitting right there when my friend needs a song to cheer him up.
Oh, you play the piano?
I dabble. In fact, I've been writing an operetta for years. I have a great title. It's called Trump. There's an exclamation mark after Trump. What do you think?
Oh, it's interesting, I guess. So it's about your life?
Yeah, kind of. You see, I felt my life wasn't exciting enough for the stage, so I made up a bunch of details. Like at one part, my character is on a giant ocean liner that hits an iceberg and sinks. There's a great ballad for me at that moment. Do you want to hear it?
Oh, I mean, you don't have to. It'd be nice to just talk for a little more, maybe head back to the bunks.
Well, if you insist I sing the song, I can't exactly say no, can I?
I didn't insist. In fact, I'd probably prefer if you didn't.
Onyango, stop drilling. You've struck oil. So here it is.
A starless night, a boat on the ocean, not disturbed by any motion from waves or a storm, a peaceful night.
Oh God, Reginald, keep going.
Yes, my queen.
My goodness, it's a beautiful night, isn't it, Hitchens?
Aye, First Officer Murdoch.
Dark and phone. Who could foresee?
What am I supposed to do? Joe Biden is out there, but where? God! Why have you forsaken me?
That was when I accidentally kidnapped Emperor Yingzong of Ming, leading to the beginning of the 1449 Tumu crisis.
Should we tell him that we're not Chinese?
What happened next, friend Joe?
So, Reg, if you had to get punched in the nuts or the face, which would you choose?
How hard is the punch?
What does that matter?
If I choose the nuts, is it strong enough to destroy me down there, or is it just gonna hurt?
Oh, I see what you're getting at. Let's say it's as hard as it can be to not crush him.
I think I'm going with the nuts then.
Damn you, God, damn you to hell. I shall find Joe Biden, then I shall usurp you.
Hey, whoever is cursing God down there, shut up. We're trying to have an important conversation up here.
Who's that? Is that Joe Biden?
What? No, my name is Frederick Fleet.
Damn.
Hey Fred, does that look like an iceberg to you?
What? Oh, fuck.
Yes?
Iceberg, right ahead.
Hitchens, helm hard a starboard.
Aye, First Officer Murdoch.
You think we're going to make it?
We have to.
And if we don't?
We have to.
After this starless night.
What do you think that was?